Wow, it is the fourth week of the current crisis happening in America, and I just want to have a bit of conversation, with people around the globe, so that we can see, what is happening, and what will be, the solution, to the end of this war. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you. My name is Olayomi Koiki. If you're new to my channel, and this is where I have a lot of conversation and there's so many, discussion on my living in the UK in the last 29 years and many other things as well. The conflict that is taking place in the Middle East is currently at the verge of collapsing the global economy as well. Currently, we know that the United States President Donald Trump mentioned that there will be a 5-day pause regarding, the last message over the weekend, where he stated that there will be an attack on the energy of those in the Iran, and if that the Strait of Hormuz is not open. What I can tell us right now is there is no direct or indirect talks that is taking place. This is coming up from the Iran ambassador to Pakistan, says there is not or no direct conversation. We know that the American President Donald Trump said that they are having some kind of conversation, with a particular individual in the Iran after many of their leaders have been killed. But the question I want to find out from many of us is, how will this war end? It is the fourth week. Nobody knows when it's going to end. And the reason for that is because in as much as Iran says there's no negotiation, the Americans say there's a negotiation going on, what actually do you believe? President Trump, the war in Iran has been won, and this is exactly how he said so. Do you think that the war has been won? Let's listen to President of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
In other parts of their country, we've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that power plant, that very big power plant.
So, do you believe the war has been won, or it is just the beginning? Who decide when the war ends? Is it America and Israel? Is it Israel and Iran? Who actually make that decision that the war has come to an end? According to the Department of State of America, leading the U.S. foreign policy since 1789, stated Iran is going to make a deal. The new leadership gave us a significant present that show me that we are dealing with the right people. Let's listen to Trump again on how that was mentioned.
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people. No,
so, well, we've had the president there stating that they're going to make a deal. Do you believe that a deal can be made in the next couple of days, so that what is taking place is already affecting, the global world as we know? The Strait of Hormuz is currently running very low compared to how many ships are passing through, before the war. The gas carrier Pine Gas is transiting the Strait of Hormuz right now, escorted by the Indian Navy. While the US Navy refuses escort requests, while Britain develops a plan, India has now deployed its warship, cut its own deal with Tehran, and is now physically moving ships through the world's most dangerous waterway. The country everyone overlooked is only one actually getting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz quietly, effectively. India has made a deal with Iran. Will other countries do the same thing as well? Let's look at some of the list of demands from Iran. Iran list of demands for a ceasefire with the United States of America, compensation for the wartime losses, former control of the Strait of Hormuz, no ballistic missile program limitations, guarantee against future military action. Let's listen to that as we continue to review the fourth week. And this is Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Let's listen as we get a report.
Well, some of these have been put out into the public sphere from the Iranian side. For example, the president of Iran has said that one of the things that would need to happen would be security guarantees, assurances that the war would not be resuming. Reuters has cobbled together a list here that you see here. Compensation for wartime loss, and we even heard the Iranians use the term reparations.
So that is just coming, from the news as well around the world this morning. The question now is, would America listen to Iran? Would America abide by what Iran is saying on the ceasefire? Well, that doesn't seem that America might or might not. I don't know. But what do you think? Now let's come back to Africa. How is the war affecting most African countries in the last 4 weeks? How is the war, affecting, African countries, as a lot of African countries relies on also the fertilizer and many other things as well. What I can tell you is the armed conflict is currently defined. I'm coming back in just about a few minutes. In terms of the Iran war, how is Africa affected? Africa's silence on the Iran war speaks volume. These are some of the information coming from the Council of the Foreign Affairs. African silence on Iran war speaks volume. The conflict in Iran spells trouble for its long-term effort to influence African countries, although opinion on Iranian engagement, economic, diplomatic, cultural, already varied widely within the continent. We know this because as the war in Iran rumbles on its diplomatic ripple effect is increasingly felt worldwide. This is partly due to Iranian regime deliberately targeting of other states across the region in an effort to drag them into the conflict, and partly because of its blockade of the economical vital Strait of Hormuz. While the overall outcome of the conflict remains anyone's guess, there is no question that it will leave Iran considerably weakened, jeopardizing its long-standing diplomatic, economic, religious, and military engagement in Africa. Many Africans are currently being affected, in this particular war. In as much as, the energy has been disrupted, Africa are now grapples with energy crisis as Iran war disrupt fuel crisis. We're seeing many African countries, the prices of the fuel are going up. Fertilizer that is needed for farmers is also being affected as well. These are some of the summary. Mauritius announced energy saving measures. Fuel shipping disrupted by Iran conflict. Dangote warns of COVID-style curbs. Dangote is also being affected, as we know that as well. South Africa sees a spike in the fuel buying. Many Nigerians are also paying high in the fuel price in the pump. But Mauritius on Wednesday, it will introduce energy saving measures, while South Sudan capital Juba will face electricity rationing. This is the effect of this war on Africa. My question to my African brothers and sisters around the world is, what do you think? What should we do as Africans, as the war is thousands of miles away, but is affecting, millions of our people in the continent? Let me know in the comment section. My name is Alami Koiki. Until I come back again, subscribe, turn on the notification button, and if you have never shared the program, why not share it? And remember, you can join us on my WhatsApp group as well. One thing is, Africa will be great, but the war in Middle East is having a big toll on my people in Europe that are Africans, but mostly Africans in other continents, in the continent as well. Check me on my next video. Thank you so much. Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps.